So good morning, everyone. I am standing outside behind or in front of my beautiful valerian plant, and I thought I would give you a little garden tour. I know a lot of you watch my gardening videos, and a lot of you watch my crafting videos. And today I am just out doing my regular morning chores. It's beautiful out this morning. It's going to get hot. So let's just give you a quick update on what everything's looking like. So heading down into the garden, these are my two climbing pink rose bushes. They're absolutely glorious. And my chickens, I'm coming down this morning. I always give them scratch first thing in the morning. So we're going to do that as well. I have it in my hand. But coming into the garden, first thing you will notice is I ripped out all of the bee balm. It had gone to seed. I was going to try and get this picked up before it scattered on the ground, but yeah, I'm probably going to have tons of volunteers coming up again. But you can see, for those of you who think that I have no weeds, I have a bazillion and one weeds, and it's a never ending battle. My walkway is gravel. When they delivered it, it had too much dirt mixed in with it, and from the very get-go, I've just had trouble with weeds growing in it. But it's bright and early in the morning. You can see my shadow sometimes. But look at my tricolored sage. It isn't always three colors. Most of the time, you can see, like, you see the white veining on that one right there. It's white, green, and pink, but when it blooms, it tends to tone down and just do mostly green. But my oregano is about to go to flower. I did dry a bunch of that. Over here, I stuck marjoram in here. I did have some cilantro in there. Um, we did have squirrels. They were digging everything up. Right here is my carrots. I did pull one up yesterday and they are almost ready, but not quite. I have another bed of carrots right here. In here, I have one potato, and I ended up planting 3 pepper plants that I had left over from my sales. In these 2 pots are my goji berries. I do have a cabbage that I'm waiting for it to finish, but I'm not sure what it's going to do because it's going to get really hot. Down here, these are my potatoes. I have a little bit of lettuce right in there, but most of these are all the potatoes that I planted on an early video, as well as these ones. These ones are in the first bed, are about ready to pick. Over here are my blueberry plants. This blueberry plant that is right here in front is kind of dying. It does have, I don't know if you can see the little bit of green coming back out on there. I did fertilize it very well, so I'm not sure what its deal is. This one over here is doing okay. The lilies are kind of taking over. I think I'm going to get these pulled out of here, but I am going to build, if I have time, a new berry patch that's going to be covered. So I'm going to move all of my berries, but there's the blueberries. The raspberries, I have red raspberries. You can see those right here. And then I have golden raspberries, which my granddaughter comes out and helps me pick these all the time. So you can see the golden raspberries right there. The golden are like an everbearing, so they really bear all season long, but mostly a big flush in the summer or in the beginning of summer, and then one in the fall. The sun is shining. I might turn you around and go the other direction. I'm going to throw the scratch for the chickens. Okay, so down here I have some beefsteak tomato plants. These ones over here, I believe these are also beefsteak. I have some regular English peas in the front of them that are growing on the trellis. They were really stunted this year. The birds were pecking the crud out of them. And then I have some cantaloupe coming up behind it. These are some of my squash plants. You can see I've got weeds everywhere. I got to work on those. Now this right here is a pear tree that is probably going to come out. They put on little tiny bullet pears and they're really, really hard. Somebody said they thought it was a Bartlett. I'm not sure. They're not any fun to eat. I've only juiced them and they're kind of on the drier side at that. So I don't know. I have a different pear tree going now in a different spot. But down here you can see my little Pixie Crunch apples. And over here I have just jalapenos in this bed. This is my oregano. And I never did get I was going to get these dead ones out from last year, and I didn't. And they're still there. In the middle bed, right here, I believe these are the Super Sweet 100s. I have everything labeled on a chart, but if I stand back, I have like 3 rows that run down my main garden area. So down the center, I have the Super Sweet 100s, and this is a dahlia. I might take it out and move it because it's crowding out this tomato, but we'll see how it goes. This right here, these are the yellow pear. And the idea of growing so many of these, because if you know, they're really, really prolific, and it's just to sell them at my farm stand. In there in the center, I have zucchini and then basil, and then at the very end down there, I have Roma tomatoes. And so back to the bed that I showed you, the oregano, I also have some chamomile flowers in there. I just dry those for tea. And then I have some more of the beefsteak tomatoes here. Over here are some more jalapenos. I just kept all my jalapenos up here in my main garden this year. These are the onions. I'm trying to get those weeded too, and I'm ringing them just to help them develop up and out of the ground better. We're coming into the hot mess area over here. But I have some more squash. These are my sugar snap peas, and my granddaughter loves these. We come out and pick these, and I taught her how to eat these ones in the shell, and she thinks that's really cool. I just put a few butternut squash here after I pulled the bee's friend out, and then I just stuck some extra Romas that I had after I harvested the garlic and pulled it out of here. I amended it and gave it some organic fertilizer, and now these will be in here to grow. So down by the greenhouse, I have some bedding plants that were just extras. I did sell quite a few of them at the farm stand, which is not done by any means, but we just had them all on a trailer. But this is another view. I had several leftover tomatoes, and I've just been trying to get them stuck in the ground here and there, again, just to sell them at the farm stand once they produce fruit, but haven't gotten too far. It's been hot and cold and hot and cold and raining, and then this is valerian. If you've never had this before, you do need to deadhead it before it goes to seed, which I need to do because it will make babies, but it has the most heavenly scent, and it's prized medicinally for its roots. So that's what that is. And then over here, I just have some succulents, some of my tall marigolds, which we will see down in the field, some extra zinnias, and some other plants, some black-eyed Susans, but these ones are actually called Goldilocks. They're a little bit different. Some more extra tomatoes, my corn and sunflowers. I succession plant these every week so that I continually have a harvest, and I do that with corn simply because the mice will eat the kernels if I have them out in the field. Extra peppers that I just put in some pots, some extra snapdragons and oregano and marjoram, and this is another one of the Goldilocks. So now let's go into my greenhouse, which is not perfect, but you know what, it functions. But now that I don't really have much of anything that I'm starting from seed in here, this is the remnants of my broccoli and my cauliflower. They were in here most of the winter. I've harvested some beautiful heads off of these. That is my mess station. This is just kind of where I am potting and repotting, and I have a new batch of sunflowers and corn coming up in here, and I cover these so that the mice can't come in here at night and dig in there. And that's just some extra lettuce starts. I already harvested these once, chopped them all the way back, and they are flushing back out again. And then over here on this side, these were extra tomatoes beyond what I have already put out in the field, and I just put them in here. The string that I have on there is really flimsy. I'm going to go grab some actual tomato twine today, and I'm just trying to do the Florida weave in here and grow a few in here. Since you can see I have the shade cloth over the greenhouse, and I do have, I will pan you slowly here, down at the end I do have a big swamp like fan that kicks on, and when that kicks on, it just sucks air through the greenhouse through those 2 louver vents that are open right there. So my greenhouse, if you are curious, is a 20-foot wide by 48-foot long, and it is amazing how quickly this gets consumed when I am starting plants in the spring. But now let's go back outside. Okay, so coming down towards my main growing fields, I just have a few raised beds, a few weeds in there. These have my granddaughter's carving pumpkins. There is some Musc de Provence, I believe how you pronounce it. It's a blue squash pumpkin. And here, let me see if I can get you up and over the netting so the deer don't get in here. This beautiful stuff right here is called Schizanthus. I do need to trim this back. I use it for a cut flower, as well as the sunflowers there. Now, this was my first planting of sunflowers, and I was really hoping to have my farm stand up and ready to sell bouquets in, but it's just not happening. So I let my middle daughter cut those and take them to work with her. She works at a vet clinic, and they actually will put together, or my daughter will put together little bouquets of flowers for patients who have to put a pet down. So it goes to a good use. I'm happy about that. So some more squash. And then if we pan, that's one of my growing fields. That's a hot mess still. And then if we pan over here, this, if you have not been with me before, is what I call my phase one. It is where most of my cut flowers grow and a lot of my vegetables are. And again, it has to all be deer protected. And I know the sun is kind of coming up and glaring, but I'm just going to give you a pan over real quick before I go over kind of what I have in here right now. So right in front of us here is called Bupleurum. It is what I use for cut flower filler. And if you see, it has these cute little heads on it like that, and that is what it looks like. And that is the stage you use it for in a bouquet. I just, like I said, am not doing them just quite yet because of the farm stand. So I will actually cut that and hang it up and dry it. And I am going to be doing, I have quite a few clips put together already on drying flowers and the way I dry a whole bunch of my flowers. So if you're interested in that, just watch for that. I'm going to try and get that out here pretty soon. But I do have, sorry, my neighbor kid, even though we do have space in between us, he just got a Mustang and he likes to rev it. So if you hear that, that's what's in the background. This is some more Bupleurum. Now this is Saponaria or Saponaria, however you want to pronounce it. It's kind of like a baby's breath, but it's just a little bit different. That one is pink. And this one right here is white. Now this is Atriplex copper, and it just volunteer seeds every year. So if you have it and it goes to seed, you'll have it for a long time. Down here is what is called frosted explosion grass. So you can kind of see how the blooms kind of look like a firework. And I do use that in cut flowers as well. It's just getting going, so I will cut those off. Probably you can use the small ones like that in like little vase bouquets, but for my taller bouquets that I need long stems, eventually as I keep clipping those, they will grow taller and taller. But right here I have some straw flower, and these were ones from last year. Excuse me. These ones right here are this year's. I didn't pinch these at the start of the season, which means you clip them, the main stalk out of them, when they start to grow and they branch out, because as you can see, even though I didn't pinch this one, I have a bunch of side branches coming. So I literally can just cut the stem out and use this center one and it'll just flush out again. Now this is honeywort. It is kind of done. It is a spring flower, but I have more saponaria down here. And I just need to get out here and trim these all up because they are cut and come again. So if you trim them, you will get more throughout the season. This is my phlox cherry cordial, or cherry caramel, I think it's called. And it is great for cut flowers. It lasts a really long time in bouquets. Here are my tall marigolds. They're just getting going. They will get about 3 feet tall. A volunteer snapdragon in the back there. I need to get that out. I'm going to try not to get you in all these posts. Now I do have support netting on most of my rows of flowers that get any kind of height to them, because we do get a lot of wind here, and this just protects them from falling over and damaging the stem of the plant. So those are the marigolds, and we're back to the Bupleurum. And I won't walk you down this next entire row because all this row is right here. I shouldn't say all it is, but what it is it's a whole row of, excuse me, my voice this morning. The whole row is Roma tomatoes. And then this next row, I don't have netting on because these plants don't need it. This is Comfrena. It's a little ball flower. Now, again, these are just getting going, so they're going to get really big and bushy. This is my Statice. And one color I really wanted this year was the apricot, and I didn't get any. They were all sold out. But I have sweet peas here. Now the sweet peas are going to be done here before too long because it's just going to get really hot. It's supposed to get up to almost 100 degrees here in a couple of days. So, but if you could smell these, oh my goodness, they're just glorious. So these will come out. I may stick a few more tomato plants in here. This is my bunny tail grass. Now it is trying to pollinate and go to seed. It's a little damp this morning, but aren't they so cute? Now I have a really cute floral arrangement that I do that I use those in, and I'm going to be doing that as soon as my flowers get going a little bit more. But these are uh, pole beans, and you see how we have an extra little fence around them? That's because there is a bunny that lives in the briar patch over there, and he would like to come over and just chew the bases of my plants off, which I actually lost about 3 or 4 of them that I had to replant. So that is why that is there. Now, these are all my peppers. I have green bell, colored bell, Anaheim, sweet banana, jalapeno, and Marconi all down this row. And I do not save seeds off of my peppers because space wise, I just don't have the space to plant them as far apart as they need to be in order to save seeds and have them come back true to their form. So that's why those are all planted together. My snaps are already blooming. This is a butterfly snap. Aren't they pretty? They're just a little bit different than what a regular snap looks like. But I will get out and get these cut, and you can see if you cut them, they just flush out from the bottom again and make more. And only my butterfly ones are blooming right now. These are my Potomac, and they are getting ready. So hopefully I have a little bit of time. And then the next row over, this is all my celosia. I have Chief Fire. Again, it's just getting going. These will get much bigger and they'll come up through the net. And I have Eternity, and I have Vintage Texas Plume. I have all different varieties. And I planted some more down here. Down there, I'm not gonna, it's glaring on there, so I apologize. I don't have a whole lot in there. I need to put some more stuff in there. Back there, I have some hibiscus mahogany, which is just grown for its foliage color because we don't have a long enough season for the blooms to form on that. And then these are my zinnias, and they're just getting going as well. They will get, oh, look at this. Look at this. I have a slug right there, and I have a slug right there. So these are going to go up to my chickens. Okay, we have deslugged this poor thing, and now hopefully it can break out of being stunted. Looks like I need to come through with some more of my baguetta and sprinkle some of that down to take care of those. Now this field is what I call phase 2. It is a hot mess, and I mean a hot mess. It got like this when I just had to take almost 3 years off for my daughter's cancer treatments, and we're just working on getting it back into shape. But this is where the corn is, and you can see the successions, how tall the first ones are, and then they get smaller and smaller. So that batch that I showed you up by the greenhouse, I'll be planting that, oh, probably in 3 or 4 days out here. Now this, I have perennials in here. You can kind of see back in the background there. Over there, I have a delphinium, and here I have some lavender, and all these nasty weeds have grown up in between them. So I'm going to be working on getting those cleared out. And then the grass has just kind of taken over here as well. But I do have a bunch of yarrow in there, some really pretty yarrow that I like to use for bouquets. So I'll get that out of there. This is a Sedum Autumn Joy. And then over here, this side are my sunflowers. And these are also planted in succession. So you can kind of see these ones are getting ready and starting to bloom. These ones a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. And then up at the beginning here, I planted another round the other day. And that's what I have there. And now we will just take a quick little walk down the road. I'll try to walk on the grass so you don't hear the crunching of the gravel. But this is our lower entrance down by the barn, and this is where we are putting the farm stand. But if you had seen the previous video, I think I had mentioned where The materials right now are just, like a lot of other things, but the materials are just insanely expensive. And so I just kind of said, let's just do it as we can afford to do it. So by you watching these videos, liking, sharing, subscribing, using my affiliate links to purchase anything through Amazon, that all helps me. But this is what it's looking like so far. And you can see my cute little colorful flags. I had those up for when we did plant sales. And then this fenced off area here right behind it is where my daughter has her horses. They're not here right now. She actually boards them somewhere else because I don't know if you can see the slope of the land, but we're at near the base of a hill and it just goes up and all the water runs down. And literally, the man who built this barn, I don't know what he was thinking, but the water runs right through the barn. So we are working on drainage, and the horses can't be here in the winter because it's just too mushy. So we're just coming back up the lower road back towards my growing fields. It does look really pretty back there in the morning, doesn't it? But I mean, we literally have a neighbor right here. And then, believe it or not, I wish it wasn't true, but it is. There is a road that goes back behind there, kind of back where those very back trees are. There's about 3 or 4 more houses back there. Um, I would love for it to just be private, but that's what you get. Get what you get. It still is pretty, but even though we're out in the country, it's almost like a little subdivision out here, unfortunately. Okay, so we hiked all the way back up to my main patio. I just wanted to show you my cute little pansy faces. And before I sign off, I have to show you something precious. You don't want to miss it. So this section over here, there is actually a waterfall that goes down and down to a pond, but the pump is broken. But I was weeding in here the other day and just grabbing weeds and grabbing weeds and grabbing weeds. Look what I found in my lavender bush. See if I can move that. Are they just not the cutest? So yeah, I propped a little rock under them to make sure that they don't fall out because the nest was getting kind of heavy with those little babies in there. So that's just a little update of what my garden's looking like. And as soon as some of the flowers become ready to do bouquets, I will put some together for you in a video. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next time.